Cult of the Lamb is a very interesting roguelike game. This is for sure the most unique I have played so far. It's like you're playing two games at once, a mix of Binding of Isaac, I haven't even played that yet, but I've seen it, and Stardew Valley almost. You get a super fun gameplay loop where you have to build your cult and collect more cultists and buildings to support you in order to become strong and fight against the 4 bishops who tried to kill you. Sorry to any diehard fans, that may have been a lackluster explanation, but you'll see what I mean. After I show you 30 days in my cult, day 1. First day, busy day. We get executed and then revived and given a crown by the one who waits. And now we have to fight our way out of the dungeon and start our cult. This day was just full of tutorials and getting to know the place. We established some key parts of the cult, so let's run through them real quick. We got a statue, we got a temple, we got a cooking station, and we got some new followers. First one, Bingus. Second one, Mbongus. Third one, Juti. If you're worried about my naming scheme, for now, it can only get worse from here. I'm so sorry. End the day with some dungeon crawling, and then we move on to day 2. Now, I'm gonna start grouping together the days because they're less eventful, but we roll over into day 2 in the dungeon and collect some more cultists to join us. Welcome Poppy and Schlungus. These guys stick around for a good while, and now we are starting to learn the ropes of being a cultist. Gotta feed my stupid peoples and conduct a sermon every day so everyone's still devoted to me or whatever. Also, I suppose I should set up some place to sleep so everyone gets to sleep in this same sleeping corner. Yeah, that's a lot of sleeping. Yep, hope you're happy, guys. In the dungeons of these days, we meet Leshy, who is the first of the 4 bishops, and that bastard is taunting us, so we must recruit another cultist. Welcome Barbatos, and prepare our fight against the great Leshy. By the time we reach day 5, we've gained some might. We have a farm and cleared the area and cleaned up lots of poo, and now it's starting to look a lot more cult-like. Hooray! But now we have a big day tomorrow, and we must prepare to fight Leshy. I roll over on day 6 and set out to the dungeons to start my battle. But this would probably be a good time to point out just how the battle section of this game works. The basics are regular roguelike rules, where you get random weapons, drops, spells, and room generation. But this can be swayed certain ways depending on what you have at home to upgrade with. Just typical stuff, but this game also includes multiple floors per run, so you get this path of choices that involves battle floors, foraging floors, healing floors, and so on. And you have to clear these floors in order to progress to the boss of the run. Now, while I was yapping away, I made it to the boss, and we get to finally see Leshy's true form. Oh no, he sacrificed those guys. Wow, he truly is ugly. It was a tough fight with many close calls, and I blatantly lied. This fight was pretty simple, which makes sense for my first main boss. I actually managed to do it no hit on my first try, so that's cool, I guess. Oh, cool. A somewhat rare achievement. Anyways, the Leshy fight was still pretty cool. With a good design and a moveset, I'm satisfied. Now, for the rest of day 6, nothing really happened. I just returned to my cult, used my newly gathered resources to strengthen myself, and strengthen the cult in general. That's about it. So we move on to days 7 to 10. So now I finally get this whole cult leader thing. In these days, I spent a lot more time expanding the base and increasing my following. I got a farmhouse, some more beds, a missionary to send people on expeditions. Things are looking up. Oh, and I also named my cult. Welcome to the Cult of Rogue. Don't think too deep about it. Oh, also, we got some new members. Say hi to Angus and, Among Us. Anyways, time to sacrifice someone. Our good friend Ambungus from the start of the game wanted to be sacrificed to the cult. So, as the great leader I am, I gave him the good old noodle, and we all moved on. You shall be missed, Ambungus. Actually, I lied. We didn't all move on, as we have someone named Bingus ascending against the cult. All right, he's been dealt with. R.I.P. Bingus. And I should also probably mention around day 9, I finally moved on to the second area of the game, Anura. This place is run by the Bishop Hecate and has different enemies, terrain, and traps. This is where the game actually becomes a bit difficult. We are done with the easy levels. Time for the real shit. Oh, I should probably mention that I'm playing on hard mode because I'm literally that snake. Come on. So, your experience may vary from mine, but anyways, that's about all that happens on days 7 to 10, so let's move on. Days 11 to 15, so back to base, and I spent a lot of these days working my way towards Hecate, but I died a good bit, and it took a lot longer than the first portion of the game. Hecate actually proved to be a challenge, but more time spent exploring means more cultists! Alright, we got a few to introduce, starting with our special guest Weber, who we met after burying Bingus, who unfortunately passed away. Anyways, hi Weber. We also have Smelly Ghost, yep, that's a good name, Fiend, and Thonsley. Don't ask me about the names. Some great additions around here, but with so many cultists, we are eventually gonna have them beefing. Barbatos and Guegwe are mad at each other, so best way to deal with this, a death bat. Wait, wrong channel. I mean, a ritual pit fight. Yeah, that was probably one of the most entertaining things that has happened on these days. Days 11 to 15 were pretty much just a setup, or as some would say, the calm before the storm. Now, I said there was a storm coming, but holy shit, I was on the struggle bus these days. I was just going head on into Anura, and I was just struggling to make any progress at all. I was dying over and over and over and over and over, and you get the point. The goal of these days was to get to Hecate and have my first attempt at the boss, but I just couldn't make it. I found a couple of new cultists though. We got two new ones here. We got Delonio and we got Gregorny. And it's probably about time I mentioned that I probably have not shown all the cultists in this video, but that's just a huge ask. You go through so many of these guys in this game, and I don't remember like any of them except for the ones that are constantly starting shit. Poppy or Weber, who on his first day wanted to literally eat shit, but to each their own, I guess. Anyways, back to grinding the dungeon, and we are making slow progress. I have a few successful runs here and there, and now in the days past 20, we should finally be able to fight Hecate. Days 20 to 22. Here we are after a few more failed runs, and we finally got a new outfit that makes me deal more damage while making me take double. I finally get to engage in our dramatic battle with Hecate. But first, we must meet one of our new cultists. Say hello to the Cheese Wizard. This one was named by a friend of mine. But now we venture to the depths, just like the Leshy fight. We watch Hecate steal her cultists' lives and become my monstrosity. Yeah, whatever. This fight, I really did not manage to no-hit like I did with Leshy. It was actually a difficult battle. So difficult, in fact, that Hecate actually kicked my ass. And now we got sent back to the cult. You know what? I'm not mad about it. I would have been disappointed if I managed to first try it like I did with Leshy. Hecate has a more interesting moveset with the stupid little frogs that jump around, and it's also just a skill issue for me. Oh well, guess we gotta start making our way back. Days 23 and 24. These 2 days I had one mission. Rematch with Hecate. I beat my head against the wall of the dungeon, met a new cultist, this one is named French, and we have a dissenter, but now we just send him straight to jail. That sounds like an appropriate punishment. Have fun in jail, at least you don't have to share the same fate as Bingus. But here I am. I made it back to Hecate, and it's rematch time. This time was different. I was in the zone. I knew the moveset. After my first failure, and I locked in. After a pretty long battle, I managed to beat Hecate, and I did it. No hit as well. So that keeps the streak going, I guess. A very good fight with annoying mini enemies and a pretty tricky tongue attack that caught me off guard. But now we can successfully go home and just focus on growing the base. Days 25 to 30. Now, I honestly don't do too much in these days. I'm living the peaceful life before I really sink attempts into the next part of the dungeon. So, this gives me some perfect time to go over some of the other fun things that go on in this game. First of all, this came around in the early days, but I kind of forgot about it until now. But this is the game called Knucklebones. It's a simple dice game where you just have to try to match your die and destroy your opponent's die. But this game is fun and simple, and you meet new characters like Flinky, so I really enjoyed it. And you can gamble. I spent a lot of these days just making the base better and commanding my cult. Like, I upgraded my rituals a lot, got some mines, got a wood farm. The base is looking super cool, not actually, haven't decorated it at all. And I think my cultists really like me at this point. Now is just set up for the next part of the game, which I haven't really done too much of yet. I really just lived the peaceful life in this video, and that's what leads us to the end of my 30 days. Some final thoughts. This game is so goddamn cool. 30 days isn't really nearly enough to make any conclusive thoughts, but I've really enjoyed my time, and I think I progressed an average amount, or maybe I didn't, but I also don't really know what I'm doing. I wasn't actually planning to do a 30 days video. If I was actually planning, I would have went for 100 days, but it just worked out this way, and I think there was enough content for this video. Actually, there's a lot of interactions I left out, because in this game, one of your cultists is gonna be doing something stupid almost guaranteed every day. And there's a lot of rituals I didn't show, but some of them aren't as interesting as the fight pit or the sacrifice. A lot of them are just bonfires or feasts, just kind of make your cultists like you more. Oh, and I also compared this game to Stardew earlier, and I forgot to mention one of the most important things, the fishing mechanic. It's a very simple mechanic, but it's a nice way to break up the pace. I love this kind of thing because there's always fun little small things you can be doing. Sometimes just being a cultist is just taxing, so you need to go catch a couple fish and then bring them home and feed your boys. Anyways, final thoughts, this game is amazing. I love the two games put together kind of concept with the roguelike side and the base building cult owning side. There's so much character in the enemies and bosses along with the cultists and other NPCs, and there's always plenty to do so you don't end up bored. Honestly, don't know what else you would want in the game. There's good challenge along with a difficulty adjuster if it's too easy or hard, and a solid progression throughout the game. So go check out Cult of the Lamb if you haven't already. That's gonna be all for this video. If you could leave a like or comment, it would be very appreciated, and thanks for watching.